Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Plane. We are here just leaving the library. I think, if I remember clearly, I think we're leaving the library. We walked to the teleporter together and exited the building to wait for the monorail. Hey Rouse, you want a tour? What? The city. I haven't shown you around yet, and I figured we can get you some food you'll actually eat before you waste away to nothing. And I want to celebrate the fact that you actually left my house. She let out her signature brassy laugh, and I couldn't help but give a small smile. Or giggle. That sounds good. Max hummed for a second, and before she could say anything else, the monorail pulled up. We sat in the usual seat, and she stretched her legs out casually. Where are we going? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I didn't really think about where to go. She shrugged and leaned into her seat. Oh, since you read the Pokemon story, we can go check out the statue. Statue? You'll see. It's pretty neat. I found myself becoming excited to see more of the city since I kept myself cooped up in Max's apartment for the past week. I hardly had a chance to see anything. Max said sooner than I expected and walked to the monorail doors. I followed clumsily and waited for them to open. We can just walk to the other places I want to show you, so that we don't have to keep getting off and on the monorail. Okay. I nodded and bit my lip as we stepped onto the cement platform. Max led to a teleportation pad, and the next morning we were standing in a green park. I was gonna say dark green park. Green park with a huge statue in the center. Whoa! Neat, right? What is it? It's to commemorate the people who fought in the Pokemon War. The statue was a few stories tall and built of a sort of translucent material. The ground beneath it, where the sun shone through, was covered in rainbows, and it was hard to keep from staring at it. The figures looked to people fighting off Pokemon. No, Pokemon, not Pokemon. Pokemon was some sort of weapon that I didn't know. Max smiled casually and waited for me to finish staring at the beautiful statue. After this, I was thinking of showing you to the market, but we should probably grab some lunch first. I'm starving. Okay. Only if you're done drooling. Her voice took a teasing tone. I instinctively covered my mouth. I was not. Maybe. Joke, just a joke, Riles. She laughed and linked her arm in mine. Let's go get some lunch. She started leading me away from the statue, and I took one last glance at it before we turned a corner, and it was completely out of my vision. The walk to the small cafe wasn't far, and Max chose a seat near the door. Is there real food here? She shrugged and handed me a menu. They have different flavors of nutrient blocks. I think I'll pass. You need to eat. Frowning, I opened the menu and glanced through it. All they had were nutrient blocks with flavoring. Applesauce, banana, and strawberry. Steak? I cringed at the thought, and Max tried to hide a laugh. I like mango the best. I guess I'll have mango too, then, I guess. Because it's all nutrient blocks. Awesome. Max grabbed the menus and slipped them into the slot on the wall, then punched our orders into a touchpad on the table. That's pretty cool. It's too bad you don't have actual food. It would have been really useful in our time. Just wait for this next bit. I don't know if you heard me say bit. I'm trying to like hold back a yawn burp thing. I don't know what's trying to come out of my mouth. It was a burp. You probably didn't hear it. She grinned and leaned back in her chair. I could tell that if she could, she would have her feet up on the table. She looked like she just wanted to relax. Don't worry, Riles. We'll go get you some food after this. Thank God. I sighed but still smiled. This would hopefully be my last meal of nutrient blocks. A moment later, I heard a whirring and looking down at the table to see two plates phase into existence. They were identical, two globs of orange-yellow nutrient blocks sitting on them. Food's here! She perked up and dove into her meal. I hesitated before grabbing a spoon and tasting a small piece of the tofu-like substance. As soon as it touched my tongue, the taste of fresh mango spread throughout my mouth. This isn't so bad. See? Max had already cleared her plate, and I couldn't hide the shock that spread across my face. I don't get the flavored stuff at home because I don't mind it plain, but this stuff is good for a treat. Plain. Maybe that's why I couldn't stand it. The stuff Max had at her house, it was just like me. Are you ready to go buy some food? I nodded, biting down on my lip as I took a few hurried bites of the food in front of me. I think you're really going to like the market. Probably even more than that statue. Great! I really wish we could see a picture of the statue. I was curious. I couldn't shake the word from my head. Plain. hearing it from somebody else. Riles? Max linked her arm in mine and gave me her charming smile. Cheer up, come on. She led me out of the cafe and I took a deep breath of the outside air to calm myself down. She wasn't talking about you, Riley. You okay, Riles? I managed a small smile and a nod. Yep. She raised an eyebrow and frowned as if she didn't believe me, but she let it slide and continued to lead me towards the market. I was surprised at how close everything was for such a large city. The market was only a 10-minute walk from the cafe we ate at. Here we are. Take your pick. Anything you want. Are you sure? Yep. I slowly walked down the street, staring at the different ingredients that were strewn across various stalls that lined the road, down one way and up the other. It wasn't too different from a farmer's market I would have seen in my time. I almost felt like I was back home. Oh man, I haven't been to a farmer's market since like last year. I wonder if they're open. They should be open by now because it's spring. My eyes ran across the price tags and I realized everything was incredibly inexpensive. Why is everything so cheap? It's a hard sell. Then why bother selling it at all? For people like you. She nudges my shoulders with hers and smiles coyly. Makes sense. I looked up from the stall that was in front of me to look to the next one and saw a familiar figure standing in front of me. Oh hey, that's Bratty Boy! His head snapped up and over to where Max and I were standing and his eyes widened. Hey, Max! Wait, is he blushing? He gave us an awkward smile and shuffled. He hid a bag behind his back and looked like he was trying to find a way to escape. What are you doing around here? I could ask you the same thing. I raised an eyebrow at their awkward interaction. I'm just buying Riley some food. You two met before, right? Yeah. Hey, Riley. Hey. You still haven't answered. I didn't know you like fast food. Yep, that's me. Aw. Max and I laughed in unison. He was an awful liar. Speaking of food, look at the time. See you later, Max. It was nice seeing you, Riley. Does he have a human as well in his house? Before either of us could reply, he turned on his heel and speedily walked away from us. Is he always like that? Only when he's lying. That's one of the reasons Cecilia hired him as her assistant. He could never lie to her. What was he lying about? Max shrugged and turned back to the stalls in front of us. Who knows? Oh, I didn't notice her pants were real cute until like it faded away. If the transition fade. I didn't realize you had microwavable popcorn. Heck, I didn't realize you had microwaves. I mean, the microwaves look pretty cool. Max let out a laugh where she sat in the living room, and I continued to stare at the apparent microwave that sat on her counter. She had an easy day at work and was back before I even woke up, so she went out to get some movie snacks for me, and when I woke up, we decided to watch an action movie from my time. Max and I both enjoyed watching movies, and by now we had made our way through a good portion of our movie shelf. This reminds me of when I was reading Ready Player One with Parzival and him reading and stuff. I didn't even know you knew what popcorn was, to be honest. I know a lot of things. I rolled my eyes and jumped off the stool when the microwave beeped. Have you ever had popcorn? Max hummed and thought. Oh, well, I mean, she has to because she had popcorn in her house, right? Or bought popcorn, I'm assuming. I opened the microwave and carefully grabbed a steamy bag of buttery popped corn, then shook it a few times. Tyler's trick is when you put it in the microwave for like 3 minutes, from the last pop sound, count to like 3, and if you don't hear anything popping, your popcorn's done. That's his trick. I don't know if anyone else does that. I also have a trick in the movie theaters. If you ever go get popcorn and you spread butter on the top, right? That little soupy buttery machine thing. Not like legit grab a butter stick and just rub it on unless you're down for that. But at the movie theaters, my teacher taught me a trick. Her boyfriend, technically, her ex-boyfriend or whatever, her significant other, I don't remember if it was ex or not, did a little trick that she didn't think of, because when you pour butter on your popcorn at the movie theaters, it only coats the top. So you get 4 straws and then put it on each side, like the ends. Well, assuming that your popcorn is in like a bag, like cheap bag, mine at AMC's, and not a bucket. Sometimes it's in a bucket, but we put it in the corners, 4 corners, and then like let the butter drip into the straw and then pull your straw out. So then you have butter like coating all the way down to the bottom. So then you can mix it up later after eating all the top buttered popcorn, you have more butter at the bottom to shake up, and then bam, don't have to get up from your seat and go get more butter. There, hack solved. I don't like doing it though. Like Tyler would let me do the popcorn, and then he would like go get ices or whatever, like Slurpees, and I would have to do the butter popcorn trick. And a lot of people tend to stare at me because they're probably thinking like, what is she doing? Or why is she being so extra? Or that's too extra for me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna deal with my unflavored popcorn later. So it's I get so shy doing that kind of trick. But you guys should definitely try it if you like butter on your popcorn. Anyway, maybe. I figured you would have known since you know a lot of things. Somebody's getting sassy. I think you're rubbing off on me. Good, you need a little more sass in you. Ooh, she looking cute. Again, the rose, the flower thing back there is tricking me. I keep thinking she's holding on to it. What's with this new outfit? I bit my lip as I walked into the living room, suddenly feeling self-conscious. You ready, Riles? I can't believe you've never seen this movie. I mean, it's from your time. I never had a lot of time for movies before. I liked them, but I was always working. Boring! Max moved over and patted her hand on the spot next to her. Let's get this show on the road. I smiled and sat down. I put the popcorn between the two of us and grabbed a small handful. I ate them kernel by kernel as Max watched. One of her eyebrows slowly made its way up her face. After a few minutes, she dunked her hand into the bag and pulled out a heaping handful, then shoved as much of it into her mouth as she could and started chewing. I let out a laugh as a few kernels fell from her hands and down into her dress. Oh, she's wearing a dress. Ah, crap! She looked down at her cleavage and frowned. I guess I'll have a snack for later. Ew! What, you've never saved some for later? She stuck her tongue out at me when she finished speaking and I giggled, then looked down at myself and shrugged. I don't really have that problem. Cause Riley doesn't have any big boobs, apparently. Oh, come on, you aren't that flat. Not what I meant. Okay, never mind. I guess me and her are wrong. I bit my lip again, hoping I wasn't blushing too bad. I just meant cause... I pouted. I wasn't exactly sure how to say I'm more modest than you, without it sounding insulting. Max chuckled and put her arm around my shoulders, then pulled me closer to her. It's okay, Riles. I know what you meant. She rested her hand gently on my arm and I stiffened under her touch. Did she think I What? Why did the mood get so serious? I'm not into that, or casually move away? Well, we're not gonna be rude and say I'm not into that. Just casually move away. I'm gonna make another bag of popcorn. We're almost out. The bag was only about a quarter empty. I jumped off the couch, moving away from the awkward situation and terrible lie. I placed another bag of popcorn into the microwave and heard the movie pause. Suddenly, I felt really self-conscious of my pajama-clad self. Everything okay, Riles? Why is she dressed up and I'm not? Max leaned against the kitchen door, a mixture of concern, confusion, and a surprise on her face. Yep, just, popcorn. I gestured to the microwave and she tiled her head. Tiled, I'm pretty sure it meant tilted. You aren't a lesbian, are you? What? That's really straightforward. Why didn't you just tell me instead of running off? I'm sorry if I came off as too forward, but you should tell people these things, Riley. Otherwise, you're going to hurt people. Well, I don't know. I don't know what Riley's into, so I told her to just go away. I bit my lip and heaved a heavy sigh. Come on, Riles. Let's finish the movie. Her voice was much more gentle, and she turned around and sat back on the couch. The microwave peeped behind me. I glanced at the bag of popcorn inside. I sighed and left it there, then made my way into the living room and sat as far from Max as I could. She didn't say anything else throughout the rest of the movie, and I stopped paying attention. When it was finally over, Max went to bed. I followed soon after, retiring to my own room and falling asleep quickly. Well, I don't know what Riles is into. I'm pretty sure this game is a Yuri game, though. I let out a hum as I stared down at my cardigan and bit my lip. I'd been wearing it so much that the fabric was starting to thin and wear out. Sighing, I put it on and left my room. Max was waiting for me. We had to go see Cecilia to pick up my temporary citizen's card today. You ready, Riles? Max called from her living room and I nodded when I stepped into her line of sight. Okay, great. At least she was back to normal after last night. She didn't seem to be upset with me anymore. Let's go! She pulled the front door open and made an over-dramatic hand gesture. A press? A press boss? I don't know. What? Max let out a small laugh and I stepped into the hall before her. I can't believe you were going to live in Paris by yourself. I would have been fine. She laughed again and had to refrain from pouting. The trip to the store in HQ was as quiet as usual. I found myself getting used to it. Max was chatting to me about different movies for my time, but I found myself zoning out. Riles? She let out a short, breathy laugh and shook her head. Nothing. Now you have to tell me. Nah. Look, we're here. Saved by the monorail. God, I love this monorail. So, work totally should be quick, but I might end up having to do some paperwork. If you want, you can go back home without me. I'll just go to the library. Truthfully, I wasn't sure if I could make it back on my own. Cool beans. What? Is that something you say in your time? That's something my mom would say in my time. Cool beans. In proper location. I jumped as an automated female voice rang out from Max and I. Floor 12. The blue light engulfed my vision. I hadn't even realized we were standing on the teleporter. The computer is sassy today. Does it always do that? Well, somebody broke the speaker, but I guess they fixed it. Somebody? Max shrugs and gives me a coy smile. She knocks on the door to Cecilia's office. Then, without waiting for a reply, she swings the door open. Cece, I'm home! She makes a grand gesture with her arms and giggles at her own overdramatic act. Maxine, I would prefer if you would wait for somebody to answer the door. I know. I'm just here to drop Riles off so she can grab her card. Max reaches over and pats me on the arm unexpectedly. The hell? I stumbled forwards and stubbed my toe on the carpet, tripping over it and landing on the floor hard. What the hell did I trip over? She just patted my arm. What the heck? Oh, hey, nice carpet, Cece. Is it new? Cecilia let out a heavy sigh, and I heard a chair being pushed backwards as I lifted myself off the ground. Or tried. Ow! I grimaced as I put pressure on my foot and fell over. Max caught me, and a look of concern crossed her face. Are you alright, Riley? I think I sprained or twisted my ankle. How? Don't look now, but maybe you broke it. She was looking down at my foot, and I went to follow her gaze, but she covered my eyes and let out a shaky laugh. I said, don't look. That does look quite painful. How did I just fall like that? And broke or twisted my ankle like that? Jeez, I'm not like that crazily clumsy. I suppose you'd be taking her to the hospital then, Maxine. Actually, I'm supposed to be in 1935 in like 10 minutes, so... Max gently sat me down on the floor and backed away as she stood straight. Guess you're gonna have to do it. Maxine, you... Sorry, Cece, gotta go. Take care of Riles for me. Maxine, you're a time traveler. Max ran out of the room, almost tripping on her way out. A second later, a flash of light engulfed the end of the hall, and she was gone. I guess this is the time we get to spend some one-on-one with Cecilia here, because I believe she is the other candidate of love choice. Cecilia sighed heavily and looked down to where I was sitting on the floor. I suppose I had to take you then. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm insanely clumsy to have twisted or broke my ankle. Either or. This is insane. Silently, Cecilia reached down and helped me up. You may lean on me. Thank you. I cautiously accepted her offer. Her body was warm and she was more muscular than I thought she would be. I tried not to lean on her too much, but it was harder than it seemed, and hopping would only make things more difficult for both of us. A few very cautious and very awkward minutes later, Cecilia and I made it to the teleporter. Lobby. As we started making our way through the lobby, I put my lip. I hoped that nobody would pay any attention to us. This was embarrassing enough already. Cecilia! Riley! The young blonde ran over to us. A look of concern spread across his face. Is everything alright? Riley may have broken her foot. Want me to take her to the hospital? It's quite fine. I am on lunch anyways. A sly grin crossed Cecilia's face. Though, could you bring the documents from the 1827 case to Maxine and ensure that she does all her paperwork? Yes, of course. He gave Cecilia a nod before he looked at me with concern. Feel better, Riley. Oh, thanks, Brad. He waved to us and ran off, presumably to go to Cecilia's office. Hurry on! Ah! Hopefully after this, Maxine will ignore me next time. Her face fell back to her usual stony expression, and we continued towards the monorail. I felt thankful that the Historian HQ wasn't as big as it could have been. And this is where we are going to stop for today's episode. So I believe in the next episode, we're going to learn a little bit more about our lady right here, Cecilia. I haven't grown a special attachment to either or of the characters. So if I do end up with the bad route, I'm not too mad about it. Yeah, I can't. I'm not attached to any of these girls yet to get a feel on who Riley should be with. I mean, technically, in real life, if we were to spend so much time with Max, we would eventually feel a love connection with her, but just by how much we've been spending time together and that we're living in under the same roof. I feel like eventually in real life, if you do have that type of development with someone, seeing them all the time, and they're legit the only person you really know, you'll eventually grow those types of sensitive feelings of love. But right now, I'm not digging either or. I don't hate or love in either of them, so we're just gonna wait and see where this lands us. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.